One thing I found interesting, my conversation on the Chase Thomas podcast last night, when he brought up the Georgia Marshall game, he was like, there's some divided opinions about how Gunnar Stockton played, and that's what maybe I'm not on as online as other. Maybe I'm not on the message boards as much as others, but I didn't know there was that much division on Gunnar Stockton's performance on Saturday. What are you hearing, or what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't know that there was a lot of division either. I guess I'm not on the message boards as much as I should be, but I mean, the side of Twitter that I was on seemed to be pretty pro Gunnar Stockton, and so was I. I thought he had a good game. I mean, he they asked him to do a lot as a runner. They asked him to do a lot with those read run plays where you either pull it or not, and I thought he made the right read pretty much every time. Hit some good throws. I know he had like the throw to Oscar Delp that he kind of overthrew a little bit. Could have been a much longer game than it was. He wasn't pinpoint accurate on every single throw, but for the most part, like all we really needed to see in this game was like Georgia not have 3 points at halftime and there not be, a firestorm on Twitter where everyone wants to, destroy Mike Bobo and get rid of everybody on the team. And that didn't happen. And that I thought that there were a lot of really positive takeaways from this game. And Gunnar Stockton, I think is definitely one of them. He did everything he needed to do.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Like, if you're getting picky, it's like you're looking at the wide receiver production. Like, we talked about Noah Thomas, 0 catches, maybe 1 target the whole game, maybe 2.
He only had that one,
yeah, Zachariah Brands for just 3 catches for 95 yards, and obviously the long one is just a little dump off that he took all the way to the house. So Colby Young, I think, played the most snaps of any of the receivers, and he had the 1 catch for 24 yards, and then he had 2 for 30 in the game. So, and then Delp had 2 catches. Everyone else had 1, or Chauncey Bowens had 2 catches. London Humphreys had, I guess, 3 for 8.
London scored.
So, yeah. And then, and then just a lot of 1 catch for single-digit yards along the board, across the board. But I don't know. I don't know what fans want exactly. I think when you have the 102nd ranked run offense in the country a year ago, when you're the Georgia Bulldogs, I bet you it's been talked about a lot this offseason. Like, we need to run the damn ball, and 44 carries for 239 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. I feel like that was definitely an emphasis in this game, and you went out and dominated an inferior opponent. Like, did you want them to show like a complex downfield attack against Marshall? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm making excuses of like, because I think people do that. Like, we didn't want to show a lot. That's why we didn't put up a big points or something. It was very vanilla, and you put up 45 points. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to play devil's advocate on like where the Gunnar, criticism would be coming from. Yeah. And like, I'm not sure what he was asked to do that he didn't do that well. Like, you mentioned the 1 Oscar Delp catch that was a little underthrown, but
and there were some throws he missed on for sure, but like there was nothing crazy that was like, oh, Gunnar Stockton sucks. Like, no.
Yeah, this is around the time where Ryan Puglisi becomes the message board's favorite quarterback. This usually is how the cycle works. So Puglisi looked solid in his time with the offense, and I like that he actually threw the ball some. I kind of hate how my dad's always talked about this back in the day. East Hall was the specific example. Basketball, they would just press the hell out of teams, and then they bring in like their second, third string. And then they're not pressing anymore. And it's like, because it's like bad sportsmanship. It's like you're bringing in the freshmen and sophomores, like pressing is your thing. Like, they want to press. They want to play East Hall basketball, So I think all you can do is bring in the backups, but you should still be playing. You should still be running the offense. It's like, yeah, we're taking it easy on you. That's why we brought in the second stringers. So I like that at least Puglisi, threw the ball 8 times when he came into the game, and it wasn't just all handoffs for the final quarter and a half.
Yeah, and he looks sharp, man. I think if they had like, it is good. Yeah, they let him get a real drive in there where he really ran the offense, and he hit a nice touchdown throw to Elias Williams, who looked pretty awesome in his first game. A lot of the back. There are so many interesting things I thought about just who played and who didn't. Like, Ethan Barber got in the game a ton. You have Dwight Phillips Jr. Emerging in that game. Like it was, I really enjoyed seeing not just like the wide variety of players that they used in different situations, but like a lot of them were all pretty productive, man. Like it was, I mean, it was pretty much the cupcake season opener game that I wanted to see. You know, jump out to a 21-0 lead. There was no slow start. There was no, you know, really frustrating first quarter or stupid turnover or anything. Like they just came in there and they took care of business, and that's what championship caliber teams do. So I thought they looked really good. Oh, something that I wanted to get your opinion on was when I went back and I looked at the game again today. Like this was something I noticed during the game too, but I really like thought about it again today. Is they gave Gunner probably 5 or 6 like design quarterback runs, and then on top of like some of the options that they had him run. How much of that do you think he's actually like? How much of a runner do you think he will actually be used as during the season? Because in his like real start against Notre Dame, he hardly ran the ball at all.
Yeah, that was my biggest question mark. I think we talked about it on Saturday. That's the Notre Dame game. That was my most discouraging part of that Notre Dame game, because I think his legs have to be an aspect. He doesn't seem, I could be totally wrong, and the guy's got all the arm talent needed to be a successful quarterback, but he doesn't seem like he has the traditional arm talent that he's just going to win in the pocket. Like I feel like his legs have to be an aspect of his game, of his skill set. So I mean, I don't know how many design runs we're going to call on a regular basis, but I mean, you saw like Stetson, like the Ohio State game, like the little quarterback sweep essentially in that game, and that they really hadn't run like all year. Like there was a little bit, I think the Auburn one, that like 70-yard run or 60-something yard run, that was a designed run if I remember correctly, right? Just a draw like right up the middle.
And he had one against Tennessee that year too, because he hit the phone celebration.
See, but I was thinking that was a pass play, right? That he just kind of got out of the pocket. But that's the main stuff. And I could be wrong also, but that's the main stuff. It's like Gunner doesn't necessarily have to be, and I don't think, over the course of a 14-game season, however many games Georgia plays this year, how sustainable it is if you're getting Gunner Stockton 5 designed runs a game, but just nothing's there, take off and run, do something with your legs. Like I feel like that has to be an aspect of Georgia's offense this year.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with how much success he did have running the ball, because he looked really good doing it. Again, like he made all the right reads on those plays, and finished runs pretty good. He was 2 rushing touchdowns and everything. Like it was great, but I just don't think I want to see Gunner Stockton wind up as Georgia's leading rusher in a game for the rest of the season. Like I don't want that to be something that they have to rely on him for, because, they've been so public about how they're re-emphasizing the running game and they want to get these running backs involved. And that would be my one thing, is like, I kind of hope that this is the most we see Gunner get used as a runner all season. And them doing it in week 1 as much as they did, it's just them trying to, give other SEC teams something else to game plan for and be like, look, we can run this type of stuff with our quarterback when we want to, so you better be ready for it. But, like, I just don't want, Gunner Stockton is a super physical runner who doesn't care about contact. In fact, he embraces it. And that kind of scares me, and I really hope that he takes care of himself and they take care of him. But yeah, I am with you that like, if I have to choose between him not running the ball at all against Notre Dame or him running it as much as he did against Marshall, I kind of err on the side of like caution in the Notre Dame game.
See, I don't know. The last game of the season, can't hold back now, right? That's what Waterboy taught me.
Well, but, yeah. I just meant overall, like, I just don't want that quarterback getting killed, man.
No, I think that's fair, and you're probably not going to see him. That's one thing I was going to say to your comment was I wouldn't mind him if he led Georgia in rushing yards again this year. I don't want to see him leading us in carries.
Oh, God.
That's not ideal. But, he breaks off a 50-yard run, has 85 yards rushing one game or something. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah. What did you think of how much do you think we should read into how much Dwight Phillips got to play? Because I thought he looked awesome, man. And him scoring the first touchdown of the season, that could be kind of a tell in terms of how much they're planning on relying on him this year.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Honestly, I don't know at all. That's maybe my biggest question of the whole first game from a personnel standpoint is Josh McCray not playing until garbage time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not only was Dwight Phillips scoring the first touchdown on the field on like the first drive of the game. I mean, he looked the best of any of the running backs in the game. 5 carries for 60 yards. Like, I mean, I still think Nate Frazier is the best running back on the team, but Dwight Phillips, you can't ignore what he did when he actually got his opportunities. So,
yeah,
I mean, the fact that it was really weird that the one touchdown they gave him last year, it felt like one of the only snaps he was given all season. That little jet sweep against Florida. So I don't know, just getting him on the field, it makes you feel like as a true freshman, he was just a guy who's working really hard, and maybe they wanted to reward him in some way. But yeah, I mean, he's got to be doing something right. He looks really explosive with the ball in his hands. So I think there's reason to assume he's in the rotation if in that top 3 running back group, because I'm not sure where Josh McCray is in that group right now.
Yeah, and I still feel like McCray is, as someone who championed McCray quite a bit before the year, I think a lot of McCray's relative absence has to do with the fact that he missed so much time with that illness in camp. And, that's just going to affect, like, he just wasn't practicing as much as the other guys. And when they're playing Marshall, like, you're going to go with the guys that are ready to go. So I would be really surprised if McCray is as much of a non-factor for the whole season as he was in this game. But Phillips, man, I think it's going to be impossible to deny Phillips snaps if he continues to perform like this. I mean, he looked bigger too, and a lot and thicker, like, in that game. I mean, like, you can tell he's got a full year in that Georgia weight room under his belt, and that's kind of what he needed, is like, we knew this kid has crazy speed and he's just, and he runs all around the field, but like, he's just so small. And when you're that small, you just can't do certain things. You just can't be counted on in pass protection. You can't really be a 3-down guy, but he looks like he got bigger, man. And he didn't really lose any of that explosiveness. So Dwight Phillips, man, like, I guess the hottest take, the biggest overreaction that I have from this game is, like, I think there's entirely a world where Dwight Phillips is Georgia's leading rusher, because he looked really good. I think he looked really great. Now, they gave Frazier the ball twice as much, and Frazier looked good, but man, like, I just that kind of runner, that little scat back who can just run away from guys and make people miss in the open field, like, Georgia didn't have a player like that last year. And Phillips looks kind of like a revelation through one game, at least.
That's a hot take right there. I don't know if I'm ready to say Dwight Phillips is going to be Georgia's leading rusher or anything, but because I think you started to convince me at the first part of your statement, because I think with a game like Marshall, you can kind of, like, you can have your principled stance as a coach. It's like, oh, if you don't practice, you don't play. This is how we do things around here, and it's like, okay, you got to win a game. It's like, get the best guy in there. So Marshall's like, you've earned it in practice. We'll get you out there early, and maybe that is the opportunity to get him some carries, because maybe you already know what Josh McCray can do because he's played against some Big Ten opponents. But that, I don't know. It obviously means something for him to look as good as he did, but I'm not ready to say he's leading Georgia in rushing or anything.
I guess I'm just really hung up on the fact that he scored the first touchdown of the year. Like, maybe I'm just reading way too far into that, but I really think that's a pretty big deal that he got the first one. Like, I think that says a lot about how much they are planning on using him this year, that he was in that early and he was producing that early.